Poppy Playtime, let's go. That I saw the chapter 4 monster. So she's like, bro, thinks he knows what the chapter 4 monster is. Also, I plan on eventually getting Poppy Playtime and playing it on the gaming channel. I don't know when. I just need to, I need to save, get that bread so I can get these games. Cause I wanna play these games. I want to play the FNAF series, the Little Nightmares, the Poppy Playtime. You know what I'm saying? There's so much I want to play. But that being said, y'all like and subscribe, and let's get to this video.
So I'm sure you've already seen the Poppy Playtime update. We finally have a release date for Chapter 4. It's coming in January, and as is tradition, we've been given our first teaser trailer to whet our appetites. Yes, pun intended. But while everyone is
Oh,
scrambling to
I
break
didn't even
down
know
the
there was
teaser
a
trailer,
trailer.
they all seem to be missing the
I
hidden
should have
stuff.
known, but
Not only are there a bunch of hidden details in this trailer, but I also think this teaser has just given us the biggest clue about the Chapter 4 antagonist. Or should I say, antagonists. Now first let's address the elephant or sheep in the room.
mm,
Yes, the new smiling critter we see in the teaser is confirmed to be a reference to Sheep Rampage, but it will most likely appear in the game as well. That's pretty cool, but I don't think this will be the Chapter 4 main antagonist.
mm.
Historically, the teaser trailers for Poppy Playtime have teased the main villain but not outright shown them. We only saw Mommy's hand in the Chapter 2 teaser, and the gas mask was our first clue to Catnap in the Chapter 3 teaser. The second teaser for Chapter 3 also only showed a part of Catnap. Now I think this teaser trailer is absolutely hinting towards the main antagonist of Chapter 4, and that comes in this box over here. Now this symbol has been shown off a bunch of
It can't
times
be
before, we just
the
haven't
box
really
monster
noticed it.
from
We can see it
from
on the Steam page for Chapter.
I'm not talking about the box monster from it's the little Poppy Playtime game. I can't think what it was called. I gotta look it up now. What was it called? It was called Project Playtime. The box monster from Project Playtime.
Chapter 4 and in
Imagine.
this trailer,
Imagine
it
they
was
put him in the
also
main
shown off
game.
in this image, as well as in several of the artworks created by Amber. Now this could have a number of meanings, but I think there is a really obvious one. This symbol shows three squares, or boxes, nested within each other. Now at this point it's clear that the area we are going to in Chapter 4 is the prison, something I theorized a good while ago.
Mm-hmm.
We already knew that Playtime Co. had
There's a
holding
prison?
cells, we
Bro,
hear that the prototype one
how big is this place, bro? You got a whole little city, a whole upper stairs, um, study facility area where they're training all that.
006 was held in one,
How?
and we even got
How?
to see this area in
How
the
big
Bron
is this
VHS tape.
place?
Now it's confirmed that we're going to visit the area these cells are located. This symbol could be a reference to the layers of security, the red wings being the outer layer, the blue the middle, and the gold being the deepest layer of security. Knowing that Playtime Co. had holding cells like this massively implies that this area is where the most dangerous experiments were kept. But these colours might have a much more obvious meaning. These three colours are the Playtime Co. main colour scheme, showing up in
Mm-hmm.
many of the toys and art designs of the company. Both the player and Huggy Wuggy follow this colour scheme, for example. But the way it's laid out like this matches one toy in particular, Boxy Boo. Now this would be
That's who I was talking about. That exactly who I was
really
talking about.
interesting since Boxy is a very important character to the story, but so far we haven't seen him in the main game, aside from in the Hour of Joy VHS tape. But if you think back to the story so far videos that teased this teaser, yes, a tease to a teaser trailer, those were all narrated by none other than Harley Sawyer. Now in a complete coincidence, Fake Fox Not Real just made a theory about this, but it's one that I also agree with. There is a very good chance that Harley Sawyer is still alive. In Fox's theory, she talks about the idea that Harley underwent the transfer process himself. We know that in Chapter 3, Harley was described as being
out, let's say.
by Laith Pierre, not fired, out. This ties into his rant in Project Playtime about wanting to beat the weakness of flesh. Harley wanted to pursue immortality. We then hear him narrate the story so far videos as if he was watching our every move. He ended the last one by saying we were walking into a trap, like lambs to the slaughter. That in itself was a cheeky little hint towards the sheep cameo. But this
Mm-hmm.
massively implies that Sawyer is going to be showing up in this chapter, likely in some doll or
Maybe.
experiment form. If this chapter's main villain is going to be Harley Sawyer, then of course this would be the chapter that we would see Boxy Boo. Boxy was, after all, Harley's pride and joy. He was the first successful
Mm.
bigger body in the Bigger Bodies initiative, Harley's initiative, and Harley treated him with a lot of affection, in his own twisted sort of way.
You have proven my Bigger Bodies initiative a success. Many doors have opened today.
So he worked before. I thought, okay, so I thought Huggy Wuggy was the first big body that worked, but I guess it was Boxy.
Thanks to you.
But there is even more evidence that we will see Boxy this chapter. Not only have Mob mentioned a returning character, but we have been given several huge clues that now tie into this teaser trailer. In Bronze VHS, we see Boxy was the one that tried to kill Bron, the Bron who
Mm.
was originally Thomas Clark. Thomas was the staff member that 1006 brought Theodore Gramble to after his accident. Think about what that means. 1006 and Harley have been shown to be adversaries. 1006 trusted Thomas, and then Thomas ended up being turned into Bron and attacked by Boxy, who we have strong evidence is loyal to Sawyer. We've seen that Sawyer has used Boxy to get rid of staff he doesn't like before, so I think this was a huge clue that Boxy was quite literally trying to silence Thomas. But the smoking gun for this theory comes from a huge clue in the Hour of Joy VHS. In this teaser, we see piles of dead toys alongside sealed trash bags, the implication being that this is where the trash of Playtime Co. was sent, perhaps before awaiting incineration. But look again in the Hour of Joy VHS. Boxy appears to be attacking construction workers. That in itself is a clue that Boxy was in the lower levels of the factory, but right behind him, bags of trash. I think this is our biggest clue yet that Boxy lives in this area, and I am more
Mm-hmm.
convinced than ever that we will see him in Chapter 4. We
Okay.
even see a Boxy head right next to this box.
I want to know what's with the sheep though. Like, there's a new friendly critter or whatever. Like, what's up with
A
that?
massive clue. But
I
there
gotta
is
watch
still
the trailer,
plenty more
guys. I
hidden
might
details
react
in
to
this
it.
trailer. Speaking of those piles of trash, they mostly seem to be dead toys, and at first glance there doesn't really seem to be anything suspicious about them. But this teaser actually continues several running themes now from previous chapters. Every teaser trailer so far has had a dead Huggy in the middle of it. Either Mob are really trying to tell me that Huggy is dead, or this is just another subtle clue. This could be seen as a little running joke, and this teaser follows the same pattern, although this one's a little bit more hidden. But looking even closer, we can see that two of the toys in these piles of trash are actually moving. Of course, they just had to be two Huggy Wuggies. Now, before you get too excited, I
Oh,
would
it
love
is
to say
moving.
that these are
Oh,
clues
wait,
that
now I can
Huggy will
see it.
come back. I am still Team Huggy will return, but I think these two are actually the Huggy models from Project Playtime, so it's either a glitch or a clue, you can decide. But
Yeah.
this isn't the only running joke in the teaser trailer. Dog Day seems to be the character in this series that always has bad luck. This trailer was the hint towards what happened to Dog Day in Chapter 3, and now we see once again that the smaller Dog Day is also having a bad day. But this in itself is a joke. Dog Days is a phrase that became known to mean days of misfortune. The dog days are over, meaning that every streak of bad luck eventually ends. I mean, you know what they say, every dog has his day. But knowing Playtime Co., this one probably won't. But back in the rubbish room, we have yet more hidden clues. In the back of the room, if you look very carefully, you can see that Catnap's gas, the red smoke, is being pumped into this room. Now, this could be a clue that these toys were thrown down here
Oh, yeah,
and
you
then
do
kept
see it.
sedated by the gas so that they could be incinerated. But it's also terrifying to think that these toys were being eaten alive in their sleep. This room really does feel like a feeding pit, something else we saw in Project Playtime. But over in the background, we can see yet another hidden clue. Over by the box, we can see a bunch of these small dots that look like eyes. Now, you might think these are just dust particles or something, but they don't
I
show
don't
up
see it.
anywhere else in this room, only
I,
over
I don't see
here in
it.
the shadows. Now, these
Oh,
actually
wait, no,
line
no, I
up
see
with
it. I
what
see
we
it. I
see
see
on
it. Okay.
Amber's drawing, eyes in the dark. Definitely a tease to something, and since we see that there is a new smiling critter we haven't seen before, I think this is a clue that there will be more. Another interesting little detail comes in the boxes we see around the teaser. This one has Poland written on it very clearly, and then this scrap of box has NAIR, possibly meaning Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. Now, we've already seen Germany and Russia referenced in previous VHS tapes, so I think this is a subtle hint that Playtime Co. was more of a global company than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense that Playtime Co. would want to sell their toys in other countries, and these big boxes could even be hints towards shipping containers. The implications here could be huge. These toy experiments might be spread out all over the world. And it also ties into a theory that I haven't released yet about Playtime Co. possibly having other factories or locations around the globe. But there was also a
That would be insane because this one factory alone is massive. Like they
clue
had
with this dog day
multiple.
that
Oh
I
my
haven't
god.
seen anyone talk about. The fact that this dog day had a Playtime Co tag, something we haven't seen on any of the other living smiling critters so far. This implies that this doll in particular was supposed to be sold. I think this is our biggest clue that the experiments continued far after the factory closed. Why would Playtime Co. use one of the retail dolls as part of the transfer process? So far, we have assumed that every living doll was kept inside the factory, kept a secret from most of the staff. It seems like whoever was running these experiments ran out of dolls. That would only happen after the factory stopped production. Our biggest clue that someone here is still carrying out the scientific process. In fact, if you want my guess, I think that Sawyer has been carrying out more experiments down here since the factory fell. But without power, he couldn't make any more dolls and he couldn't leave. Power that we just restored for him. I now wonder if the reason why 1006 was trying so hard to stop us was to stop us from opening this door and freeing Sawyer, something Poppy has pushed us towards doing. But this could also be a hint that some of these living dolls have been shipped outside of the factory, possibly even setting up a future game. Now, one thing I can't quite figure out is this pair of
I
eyes in the
mean,
background. These are looking directly at the camera and they don't quite seem to look like any of the toys we've seen so far. Most Playtime Co. eyes are dark, but these ones seem much more realistic. Honestly, they really remind me of Robbie the Rabbit from Silent Hill. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but take a look for yourself, it definitely looks like something is hiding in there to me. There is also one small detail that I found odd. We see Dog Day get very excited after finding these remains of Bobby before chowing down. But notice how he
oh
passed
damn.
several toy corpses on the way. Some of them are even shown to be full of blood, so I think this is a hint that these dolls need to consume fresh kills. This would make sense, the living parts of these toys would likely decay or rot like any dead creature would. But that does bring into question just how immortal these toys are. Maybe this is a hint that the bigger bodies would eventually die as their living components failed. Perhaps the transfer process would need to take place multiple times in order to achieve true immortality. But knowing that 1006 doesn't require sustenance, perhaps this is another clue as to why Harley was interrogating him. Again, this is very close to something that Fox just made, so go check out that video. I will leave a link in the description below. Either way, I think this teaser is hinting that Chapter 4 is going to be the darkest one yet, and I'm excited to see the full trailer to see if my boxy theory is correct. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to subscribe. I
I
will have plenty
cannot.
more
I cannot wait for chapter 4, bro. W Theory, I enjoyed this video, man. Y'all check out this original video. I'm gonna put it down in the description. Um, Tune in for more reactions and like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.